Hello, Doc Walks listeners. This week's episode is an experiment. Like often happens when making documentaries, we had an issue with one of our cameras and we had to improvise. But it couldn't have happened with a more perfect guest, because this week we host musician, director, and visual effects wizard Isaac Gale. Isaac is the director of the hit music documentary Swamp Dogg Gets His Pool Painted. He's a member of the band Marijuana Deathsquads, and he's also repped as a commercial director by my company, The Bear. Additionally, he makes mind-bending music videos for bands like Bon Iver, Lamb Chop, and Polisa. So when we realized that we were short a camera, Isaac offered to take some of the footage and create his own using the voodoo that he does so well. It's part AI, part documentary, and all the work of a brilliant director. And I should pause here and acknowledge that using AI is ethically tricky from an energy use and environmental angle, as well as the creative implications around inspiration and theft, and of course the impact on human jobs in our industry. So this is an experiment and hopefully a conversation starter. We hope you'll watch and let us know what you think. And now I hope you enjoy my walk with director Isaac Gale. As high tech as this is, old-fashioned marker.
Yeah.
And then let's start over here, because I feel like this is very apropos for where we are and what we're doing.
Face calls them up, the burger, but the future and the past.
Here we are, South by Southwest. That is the perfect way to start our walk, because you are here.
I am here.
You are a director, but you are here with your band.
That's right.
Which is
Marijuana Deathsquads.
Marijuana Deathsquads, which is also like the coolest thing for a director to say. Like, yeah, I'm a director, but I'm actually here with my bands playing at South by Southwest. Here, let's cross the street, go this way.
Sure. Can we just go on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Does anyone ever like run you down because you're holding the selfie stick when you're doing these?
Not at all. If anything, I think people are sort of curious and they slow down. But I have
I've held a selfie stick in my life, by the way.
How does it feel?
It feels weird.
Do you feel like 10 times nerdier than
I do.
before?
I also don't usually wear hats, but I got so sunburned yesterday, I feel like I have to.
I know, and now we're walking, it's probably like 50 some odd degrees outside. Although yesterday it was like 95 and like the bright sunshine.
This feels good.
Well, you're from Minneapolis, where, what is it, like probably 15 degrees today?
Probably. Yesterday we had some kind of mega snowstorm with like 2 feet of snow. So,
wow.
Half my band isn't here yet. Hopefully they actually make it.
And
We play with 4 drummers, I think, at this show. So if 2 drummers don't show up,
then at least you have two others.
still have 2.
Nobody's gonna go, that band was great, but I really could have used 2 more drummers.
Yeah, if anything, they're always like, you don't need any drummers.
That's 4 too many. 4 drummers too many. Here, let's go this way. I've never been down this street. This is the old neighborhood where Brad Beasley and I lived together as roommates, and that's actually, in a circuitous way, how you and I know each other.
Yes.
Because your wife, partner, JoLynn, edited Brad's documentary on the Flaming Lips of Fearless Freaks, among some other things for Bradley, right?
Yeah, and for you too, right? Didn't she work on an early Winnebago Man?
She worked on an early cut of Winnebago Man, absolutely. And we would go to Minneapolis, me and Bradley, and hang out with JoLynn. And that's when I remember meeting you for the first time. And I think that must have been, you guys had just started dating.
Yeah, I think we met at a Winnebago Man, like Minneapolis premiere or something, maybe.
Oh, really?
Pulled up in a Winnebago. I think so.
Oh, that's a great memory. I love that. I do remember that because that was when we showed the original crew who had made the Winnebago Man outtakes all came to that screening.
Yes.
And they were basically, we brought them up afterwards and I did a Q&A, and they were sort of treated like celebrities.
Yeah.
And that was like a really special screening.
I think you called Jack or something, or maybe that's just for times you've done that I've seen.
That was definilely part of the Q&A experience for the release.
Cool. And that really I have filmmaker friends sort of in Minneapolis, but there's not the same sort of tight community as I think here. So or I didn't have it anyways of my own, so it was cool to see working filmmakers actually have a movie that they made at the Lagoon, which is the movie theater I went to since I was a kid.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think of you, so you are one of the directors that we represent at the Bear, our production company, and I think of you primarily as a director, but in looking you up and doing research for our walk here, I see that like you're sort of, I think you think of yourself more as a musician than I think of you as.
Sure.
So is that fair to say?
No, I actually think, well, kind of. I think of myself sort of more as an artist in general, like who plays with music and film, but I don't feel like I'm a musician because I can't like sit down and like slay a piano or something.
Right.
I used to play guitar and I haven't in years, so I suck at it now.
Well, so what do you play in Marijuana Deathsquads, your current band?
I kind of fiddle with synthesizers and do a lot of shouting into a microphone that has all these effects on it. So I play with like effects pedals, and it's not a classic formation of a band really. It's kind of more of a project that Ryan and I do. Ryan, who is my co-director along with DMC on that Swamp Dogg Gets the Pool Painted movie.
Right, which
He doesn't like to be in podcasts and things, so.
Who's that, Ryan?
Ryan, I would have invited him.
Okay. Is he sort of
Just landed too at South by.
is he sort of like famously a little bit reclusive, like doesn't like
Doesn't
the
let his
limelight?
picture get taken. So he's like, if you try to look him up on the internet, you will find almost nothing.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And this
Cool
is
project.
this is Ryan Olson we're talking about.
Yes, Ryan Olson.
And he was your co-director on the documentary about the musician Swamp Dogg called Swamp Dogg Gets His Pool Painted.
Yep.
That premiered at South by Southwest in 2024,
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and then got acquired by Magnolia Pictures.
Yes.
Had
Out
a-
of South by.
Out of South by, had a theatrical run, which is wild for an independent documentary about
Yeah.
a relatively obscure musician,
Totally.
even though I'm a huge fan. So that was like a huge success. Were you expecting the movie to be a huge success like that?
No, I don't know what I expect. You know, we were just so happy to get it finished and get people to see it. So like even when South by was done, we were like, well, that's it, I guess. No one else is ever going to see this movie. And then kept going. So yeah, I mean, it's all kind of shocking and just super exciting to us. And then I also just want even more for it. Like I'd love it to land on a streamer sometime and
Man, it's so
see
charming.
it. Because these guys are just they're such amazing characters.
Amazing characters. And the way that you put it together is, I'm struggling not to say offbeat, because I feel like that's not,
What
that
they always
doesn't,
say about weird independent musicians.
right, and it doesn't do it justice. It's more like you made the film true to the subjects. Like they are unusual people, and the film is unusual.
Yeah, totally. We tried to make it feel exactly like it felt to hang out with them, at least from our perspective.
Yeah.
I'm sure other people hang out with them and get a totally different thing because they're infinitely interesting guys.
Right.
And they're hilariously funny.
Well, so how did it come about? Like, tell us the origin story of Swamp Dogg.
So Swamp Dogg cold called Ryan Olson a few years before we started filming. I think they shared a distributor in music or something because Ryan's really a record producer or a music producer.
Okay. And what would we know Ryan from? Like, give us some of his greatest hits.
Polisa. He's done a ton of production for Lamb Chop, Bon Iver, Lizzo.
Whoa.
Those are some famous ones.
So-
Third Eye Blind, which he renamed Thread. I don't know if that ever caught on, but yeah.
So he's like kind of the go-to record producer in Minneapolis.
I mean, there's a bunch, but he's my fave.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For the first time in Doc Walk's history, in over 50 episodes, we ran out of card space
It was too intense.
on my camera as we were like 5 minutes into our walk. Isaac, I apologize on behalf.
Hey, I'm pissed, but it's fine.
Okay, let's assume that we did not get any of the Swamp Dogg
Okay.
movie
History.
history. So let me start that back over.
Sure.
So you are fresh off of making a feature-length doc about the infamous musician Swamp Dogg
Yes.
called Swamp Dogg Gets His Pool Painted.
Yep.
It premiered here in Austin at South by in 2024,
Yep.
and it got acquired out of South by
Yes.
Magnolia Pictures,
True.
which is a huge hit for any documentary.
Yeah, insanely exciting.
Yeah, it got a theatrical release.
Yep.
And that, by all accounts, seems like a huge deal. Like, was that something that, like, for you was unexpected, or was this kind of like you thought the movie would go that far and wide?
I didn't know what to expect with it at all, and I definitely didn't expect. I guess I didn't. I don't know you're so like in it, so hardcore when you're making it that like we were like still editing when it played at South by and still messing with it before it like Magnolia put it in a theater. So focused on it that I never even thought about where it would go or any of that stuff.
Right.
I'm just psyched that it's available for people to see.
Yeah.
And find.
My memory of it was that you guys went down to make a music video.
Yeah.
And basically had so much fun that you kind of didn't want to leave. And that's how the documentary started. But I know it's more complicated than that. So what was the origin story?
So Ryan and Swamp ended up, they shared a music distributor. I don't remember what that was. And I think Swamp was looking to work with some new, they were kind of like, Swamp, maybe try to work with some new people, help you produce. Because they're kind of producing all their stuff in-house. And he was looking through like a list, as far as I know it. He was looking through a list of potential, people to work with, and he saw Ryan's label on there, Totally Gross National Product, and thought that was a funny name. So he called him up. And it's true. It's like a total Swamp Dogg thing. Yeah.
Totally. It sounds like it could have been.
He's a great, he's a master of titles. So he liked that one. So yeah, he called him up, and Ryan was sort of smart enough to keep talking to him, and they, started up a friendship and a relationship working on music together for a couple of years. And before I ever met him, they were working on this album called Love, Loss, and Autotune for a long time that eventually, I think, came out in 2017, which is when we showed up at their house to film a music video.
Okay.
And when we showed up at the house needed no art direction. No, it was like, do you want us to move anything? It's like, no. This is such a cool place.
Yeah, describe
all the details are just so specific with them,
Well, for people who haven't seen the movie, or actually, I think we should go back even further, because I am familiar with who Swamp Dogg is, but that is an unusual.
How'd you know him?
I played in a lot of bands. I'm from a musical family, and music's always been a lot to me. So I read about music, I search things out.
Cool.
And I think, like when you do that, your friend who's, the record store clerk or whatever turns you on to something cool. And I think in this case, maybe my buddy Thomas Fawcett here in Austin, who used to review for the Chronicle, I think turned me on to him.
Cool.
So it had been years ago, and I got Rat On, which is still to this day my favorite Swamp album. And then Total Destruction to Your Mind.
Amazing album.
And from there I was just off and running and a huge fan.
Sure. I mean, we had a couple other people who ended up on our film team who also came by way of just like kind of being fans of Swamp Dogg and poking around to see if anyone was doing anything about Swamp Dogg.
Oh, yeah, like Paul
Lovelace, Ben Wu, and Townsend is this amazing record collector from Atlanta. And he was a huge Swamp fan, and he was starting up a project with Swamp. And kind of like every time someone was kind of like, hey, Swamp team, can we make a movie about Swamp? They were like, well, these other guys are making a movie, and it's kind of taking them a long time. Maybe you can like help out, which never works out, but it really worked out in our case. Like everyone turned out to be super cool. So I think if you're like a Swamp fan, you already knew Swamp Dogg before you saw a movie or anything. You're probably it's a litmus test. You're a cool person.
Yeah, you're like a good guy. Or a good person. Yeah. So, so Swamp is a R&B singer-songwriter, piano player who started with a very like classic rock and roll story, basically, where he was. He had like a crooner hit that I'm blanking on that, when they found out that he was black.
Oh, yeah.
They uninvited him to a lot of gigs.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I'm also hungover from South by, so coming up with like specific song titles might be hard for me to pull out.
But he started there is the point, and then he kind of...
In the 50s.
In the 50s. And then he did this very like wild turn where he... What was his big country hit? It was Take This Job and Shove It, the Johnny Paycheck?
It was Don't Take Her, She's All I Got.
Oh, that's it.
Johnny Paycheck.
Yeah, Don't Take Her, She's All I Got. And you know, at the time, this is in the 60s, right? Or maybe early 70s.
Maybe early 70s.
And for you know, a black musician to be writing country songs was very unusual. And that's kind of like where Swamp Dogg starts. And then he becomes so much more unusual, working in all these different genres. And he is misunderstood to the point that he essentially has to put out his own music. He starts recording his own music. He has his own label. But people who are music lovers discover him, and he covers John Prine's Sam Stone, which becomes a huge hit for him, and John Prine falls in love with the cover, and he just has this like amazing, soulful, unusual presence that attracts lots of people.
Totally.
And so he's this kind of like underground figure. And so for him, I love that he reached out to your music partner and co-director Ryan, because Ryan is kind of a underground figure who's like touched a lot of different genres and art forms and
and produced a lot of styles of music.
And so
they make a lot of sense as good buddies, you know.
So he reaches out to Ryan, says, I want to work with you. You guys, does Ryan pull you into the production of the album?
I am on the album. I played some synth bass. I forget on which track on Love Lost and Autotune. And Ryan and I are, you know, would like be making our own stuff. It's kind of like Ryan's studio is a place where a lot of people kind of come through and hang out, and you're listening to like what Ryan's working on, what other people are working on. There's big, huge speakers, so you get to listen to music, not like you can listen to it at your house or whatever, kind of, unless you have gigantic speakers. But so that's kind of the vibe, you know, you're kind of just roll through and he's playing what he's working on. And I kept hearing this music that they were working on together. And he had brought in Justin Vernon too, who does Bon Iver, to work on it, because him and his crew are sort of like auto-tune masters, you know, like Swamp was kind of like, I want to use auto-tune, but they were kind of like, it was not in tune when they would do it. So there's there's a lot of subtleties to it apparently. And
well, it's really bizarre that Swamp Dogg wants to use auto-tune, because one of the things that I love about him is how soulful and beautiful his voice is. And like you listen to him and you're like, well, that would be like auto-tuning Willie Nelson or something. Like, it's like you don't want that voice disguised.
But he's an artist, you know. He wants to do new stuff and play with new toys and keep it interesting.
That's amazing. So then you guys make this record with him, and then you go down. Like, at what point does it get decided like you should make a music video?
I guess as soon as the record was being released by Joyful Noise, then, you know, a label ends up trying to finagle a music video for a low budget, and we were just happy to hang out with those guys and actually see the house. We'd never been to their house before. I had met him in person at a Eau Claire Festival, which is a music fest in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, that him and John Prine were at together. But yeah, so like, I guess before the album dropped, they brought us out there, and we conceived of an idea of that for the song I'll Pretend, which is a very sad, beautiful, and heartbreaking tune.
Like a eulogy for his wife who had recently
who had passed. And so we kind of went out there and just shot kind of a music video of a sad old guy sitting around. But then we were like, this guy's not a sad old guy, you know? I mean, he is deep, you know, somewhere in there is the sadness, but he's also like hilariously funny, super nice, super personable, one of the funnest people to talk to, you know? And then we met Moogstar and Guitar Shorty, same trip, you know, like those guys live here. Like, I don't know, it's just such a cool, psychedelic Brady Bunch or whatever.
That's a great way to describe it. So his bandmates, Guitar Shorty and Moogstar, who all could carry their own documentary, live in the house with Swamp Dogg. So it's like these three super eccentric musicians, old men, probably in their 70s, 80s?
Yeah, Shorty passed away, I think he was 84. And Swamp was in his late 70s at that point. And Moogstar, I don't know if anyone actually knows his true age, but he's sort of eternal. And you know, I think he's a lot younger than them.
Yeah.
But he kind of, you know, is the studio in-house producer, keeps stuff running.
Yeah.
You know, computer dies, he fixes it or stuff like that.
Right.
Takes care of them.
And so you guys go. So what's like the first step towards convincing Swamp to make a documentary?
I don't remember it being very challenging, because I think, we were kind of like, hey, let's just see what happens. Like, and we really instantly had when I left the house, like on our way to the airport, I know we thought up the title, just like, let's just make a thing where these guys sit by this pool. We'll try to get it painted.
Yeah.
So maybe Swamp Dogg gets his pool painted. Maybe it's just a little short thing.
I love
it, just because they're such interesting guys.
It sort of sounds like a less blank film title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the film title is what the thing is, but then it isn't that at all as soon as you kind of dive into it.
Well, and it sets up a nice, like, it created an unusual arc. Like usually a biopic follows such a like standard formula.
Yeah.
But with that title, the pool getting painted is the arc.
Totally.
Anything that happens within that can be as chaotic as possible.
Yeah.
As you sort of come back to.
There's always an anchor point you can come back to, which is the pool being painted.
I love that.
And then we tried to keep them in the same outfits as often as we could around the pool, so that there's some kind of continuity, even though maybe years passed between conversations and stuff. Which was pretty funny, because at one point Swamp lost some weight and his hat kind of like started going like shrinking on his head. But yeah, it was, I don't know, they were just so game to like have, to do stuff. You can't get Swamp to do anything he doesn't want to do, so if you didn't want to do it, we didn't do it. And we came up with a lot of ideas, and they had some ideas. Yeah, but it was just sort of like, we'll come out this summer, we'll try to like, if you can get some friends to come over, we'll just shoot you guys talking at a table, like an hour each person.
That's one of my favorite.
See where it goes.
It's not just like a few friends. Like you have Mike Judge, Johnny Knoxville, Tom Kenny, who's the voice of SpongeBob, who I'm a huge fan of from
also just
Mr.
like
Show.
Yeah, and he's a deep music head.
Oh, really?
Musicologist kind of guy. Yeah, that guy is an encyclopedia. Encyclopedia?
Encyclopedia. Easy for you to say. And then you have like Yo La Tengo makes an appearance.
Yeah, we heard they were big fans of Swamp, and so we invited them to come to Swamp's 80th birthday party, and they showed up. Our friend Kurt Wagner, who does Lamb Chop, is good friends with them, and we were told they kind of don't like being on camera and stuff, so we just didn't put them on camera. They're just in the background. I don't know.
Awesome.
We did a lot of things like that probably wasted a lot of money in a way, but to me, like, I don't know, those Easter eggs are just, if someone knows, people always call out, Yo La Tengo's in the movie. It's like, yeah, just in the background of like 2 shots.
Right. But it's memorable.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
maybe because you don't highlight them, it's just like, oh, they're just there.
Yeah, that was one of our, I think, we didn't know if we were going to be able to get celebrity talking heads or whatever every music doc has, kind of.
Yeah.
And because we were just doing it on our own, we didn't have anyone telling us we need to have these algorithmically placed, you need this many famous guys that bring this many people to watch it or whatever. So we wanted to treat, everyone sort of democratically, I guess. Like, no one's more important. Swamp's the important guy. It's all about him.
Yeah.
It's all about Moog and Shorty. And, like, everyone who stops by is a neighbor or a friend or, we don't know why. I've seen on Letterboxd, a lot of people are like, for some reason, Johnny Knoxville's in there. It's like, I don't know. He knew Swamp. He was a fan.
Well,
we got him to show up.
You show him, all of these guys, they come to the backyard, sit at a card table by the pool with Swamp and whoever happens to be around. And so it's not like you cut to interviews. You cut to these like almost like vignettes of them just like hanging out, talking about the pool and anything else that comes up. And so it feels very like they're sort of like threaded into this tapestry of the story in a very natural way, and then they're just gone again. So it's not like it's by no means like a traditional talking head interview.
No, and we kind of also ended up, we recorded those, they're really long and loose conversations, and sometimes, if you see our raw footage, there's just a lot of sort of silence where they're like, is this what we're supposed to be doing? And we're like, sure. I don't know, we just wanted to see what happens if we just keep the camera rolling.
Right.
And because Swamp is a master of conversation, he can always like, throw something in there. He'll if he can't think of a detail, he throws a monkey wrench in there. Hi there.
Hello.
Look at this little guy.
Oh, it's all right. This is great.
Well, you're
Who is this friend? Hello.
That is Ricky.
Hello.
Ricky?
Hi. Well, so we've been talking a lot about Swamp Dogg, but I want to talk about you more.
Sure.
So, because I read somewhere that you made 100 music videos before
Yeah.
Swamp Dogg. So, and
Yeah.
you said like at the start that you think of yourself as more of an artist.
Yeah, I mean, I went to art school. Like, as opposed to being like a journalist, or, a documentarian type. And because I like to dabble in a lot of different medias, like I went to school to study painting, and then ended up with a filmmaking degree from Minneapolis College of Art and Design.
Cool.
I don't know. I just got obsessed with cameras somewhere in there and ran out of ideas of what to paint. I started enjoying just like stretching canvases and like making these perfect fresh canvases to paint on, and then I just look at them like, I don't want to paint on that. It was fucking awesome already.
I just spent all this time.
Yeah, it
making
just looks
the
so
canvas.
nice. Someone else could paint on this. Yeah, I did make 100+ music videos, mostly for like Minneapolis and sort of Midwest bands.
Yeah.
Ryan and I actually were working at this warehouse job. It was like a beer brewery place, and just super broke, couldn't afford a practice space anymore, so we started like making electronic music because we didn't need amps and whatever, like guitars. And at that time, my friend Steph, who raps under the name POS, and had this crew called Doomtree. They were sort of starting to blow up, and they needed someone to document a tour. And so I like cashed out a retirement fund that had started, which was probably like $2,000, and I bought, that was like when DSLRs got invented.
Yeah.
Like the little Canon
Yep.
5D, 7D.
I remember.
So I got one of those, and then I just
suddenly everything was like shallow depth of field.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So I shot a ton of music videos on those for really low budgets, and I probably am just part of the reason. But I mean, budgets were just fell off a cliff, I think, for music videos in general. But as one guy with like work with like one friend or something, you could, if we did a ton of them all the time, we could have some money.
So did you teach yourself how to edit and like?
Well, I did, when I was in art school, I did learn, like, that was also, I cut film on a flatbed, like 16, and I had editing strategy. Like, once I was cutting on a flatbed, I was like, this is a lot like painting. Like, you're kind of working all these different sides of the canvas, kind of, working on this end and this end, or I guess it's like sculpture or something. But I kind of understood it, and at the same time, that's when Final Cut and Adobe Premiere were like started. So I went to school at this weird time where I had to learn a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
Avid.
Well, but you're still like that. Like at our company, we talk about you as a director who can kind of work with any medium. Like
Sure.
you do things with AI, you work in
Yeah.
After Effects and Maya, you do animation. You're sort of like this.
I can't do
technical-
Maya. I have friends who I would call in for the animator stuff.
Oh, okay.
But I
What-
can do
what's
do
that
some AI
program
stuff.
that you were showing me where you can like it was almost like Sims, like you can build worlds and the camera can float in and out of it.
Unreal Engine.
Unreal Engine.
Yeah, which is kind of a video game engine, but like, you can use it for filmmaking stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just always interested in trying to, I always have this thing where I like to like try a new technology. I don't get good at it, but I like to try to break it, and then that image always like is enticing to me when I'm just like, what if I drive a camera through the character's head and see what's in there? And then you're like, oh, nothing's in there, but it's kind of like a cool video. I don't know.
Yeah.
That stuff like, makes me feel good about playing with technology. And I get bored with normal, not normal, but I don't know. Sometimes you
Doing
need
the
a
same
break
thing
from,
over and
yeah, you don't want to have a whole film crew or whatever around. You want to just like, it's kind of nice. Like when I was messing with AI, especially on the Swamp Dogg thing, I know a lot of people fucking hate AI, and I don't disagree with a lot of it. Like no one likes these companies or whatever and the nefarious things they're going to do with it. But like every piece of art I've ever made is on the internet. Like some of that data is mine too, and yours and whoever's. And like, I feel like, we should be able to steal the software and try to make things with it. See if there's something cool in there. Maybe it's not. But the intro to Swamp Dogg, the AI thing, we like iterated that for a year and a half.
Wow.
And sometimes just sitting there doing coding or whatever, tweaking little micro things
Well, and
in the
talk about
code.
the intro, because it's so
Oh, sure.
incredible how like all the images sort of bleed
Yeah.
and melt into each other.
So the movie starts at Swamp Dogg sitting by his pool, and he says, "Is this a dream or a reality?" And then we just kind of explode from this palm tree, and all this sort of pool water of imagery floods out, and we made a data set out of Swamp's archival material on a PC that we built in my room. So it's all just sort of locally done. The data never gets out there. The models aren't available to anyone else. You can't make a Swamp Dogg out of our stuff. And so it just kind of like I guess you prompt it. We wrote a script. It says like at this frame, Swamp's driving in a car down the highway, and there's, you say all these details, and then you hope that
that it
when
will
it
go
export-
and
yeah.
match it to the archival that's in there.
Yeah, so the data is made out of, you make a data set that makes the model, I don't exactly know how to, AI people will hate the way I'm talking about it because they actually understand it better.
None of those people will be listening to this podcast.
Okay, good.
I promise.
And if you are, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. It kind of builds a model of Swamp Dogg based on all these photographs. So then you're like, Swamp Dogg, the model, is in a recording studio and the records are spinning and there's you tell it all these details and it makes you an image of that. And then we were doing this thing called recursive video where it just keeps pushing in, or you could push out, you could go to the left or the right, and it just kind of I don't exactly get how it works. It's based on like chaotic noise patterns. So that's why you can never do the same thing exactly twice.
Oh, wow, interesting. So it's like a totally unique, so the way that the intro came together was almost like you were controlling it, but also the output was a little bit
It's not, yeah, it's
chaotic and uncontrolled.
it is, and that's why you have to iterate so much. Or a lot of AI slop out there. It's fun to just do it, see what it is, put it out. But for this, we really wanted it to look cool. We even went to a few other sort of AI artists to see their take on it, and none of it felt as good as this weird flowy thing that we ended up making. I don't know, I was just so impressed. And what I also like about it now is that was like 4 years ago we started making it, or 3 years ago, so it's kind of dates it.
Yeah.
Just like Swamp's done 2 auto-tune albums, like we have some of this AI stuff that like in a few years is just like, people already probably think it looks terrible, but it's like, to me, that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's again in keeping with his personality, because he's an early technological adopter.
Oh yeah, he's interested in that stuff.
In the movie, you find out that he was like one of the first people to put out rap albums.
Yeah.
And he had his label,
Totally.
and he's always like kind of on the cusp, pushing the form.
Yeah, and like, poking at the corporate business side of everything,
Yeah.
I don't know. I found it to be really pleasurable to sit there and just by myself sort of code in my room and try to make this thing happen.
I love it.
Sometimes that stuff is as fun as picking up a camera and going out shooting to me.
That's so cool. And I think you have the distinction of being our first guest. Well, actually, no, we talked to Karen Skloss, who's a Austin-based director, editor. She's also in a band with her husband. But I was going to say, you're maybe our first full-length episode guest who also plays in a band, who is here at South by, which again is, I think, super fucking cool.
It's getting embarrassing to be in a band.
Is it?
As I get older.
Really?
No. I'm like, in a band.
I don't know. I still think it's pretty cool. I mean, I guess if you
It's really fun. It's great. It just like, we're the kind of band that, we work on stuff all the time. We almost never put anything out because it's almost always more about the live thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you haven't been perceived by the public for a while and then you're up there like carrying on and making a racket, it just feels a little...
Well, you should try making a podcast.
Oh, no, I don't think I'll ever be able to do that.
Well, we unfortunately have to cut this one short because it's South by. I've got to go pick up my children who are off school, and we're juggling.
Yeah.
We have to go get to a gig. We usually do like a lightning round here at the end, as we call them. And so first question is, what was the documentary that was like the gateway drug that made you want to make documentaries?
It's got to be CRUMB. I think CRUMB is the first documentary I ever saw that was just like about out there characters and just like sort of, I don't know, just this, the everything about that movie is so beautiful and
I love that
I
one
don't know.
too.
It's funny, it's sad, it's
It's
about an artist. It's and
Yeah.
it's made by an artist, you know. And I know it was like a serious, you know. The more I learned about that film that I didn't know then, you know, that was an insane undertaking, like to make that movie. So probably CRUMB. I mean, American Movie also.
No, that's like
American Movie, and American Movie is, you know, from our next door neighbor in Milwaukee to where I live in Minneapolis. So
Yeah.
yeah, probably those two.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. We think of this as like a resource for up and coming filmmakers. So what would your advice be to somebody who's just starting out?
I would say don't listen to me about anything because I don't know shit. I don't know. I think it's really just important, like, to you know, talk to people, get a good team together. You know, if you can put it's like making a band. If you can put a cool band together, try to keep it together.
That's a good.
But you know, stick to your vision, and you just got to make it no matter what. Like, if you can't find money, then make it without money.
Yeah.
Because you'll have another idea, hopefully.
That's a good piece of advice that we haven't heard a lot of other people say, which is to kind of think about it as a band. And once you find good collaborators, understand that those collaborators are like what makes something, like they can really elevate you, is my point.
Oh yeah,
Like if you
and
find
you
a
need them.
team-
You can't make a movie by yourself. I mean, I guess you could, but I can't. Like, you need people. Like,
You don't
these
want-
things are so intense.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let's keep going so we're around the
Okay.
music a little bit. Like if I could go back and redo it, you know, like my collaborators on Winnebago Man, like Joel Heller and Malcolm Pollinger, and I still work with Barrett and Bradley. But you know, they're such a huge part of why that movie, why a lot of people know that movie.
Yeah.
And I was not smart enough to keep them close and like roll right into the next project with that same team.
Sure.
And I really wish I would have done that. And I think that's really
It's hard
good
to
advice.
do. Like, I mean, I'm trying to keep the band together. You know, I know everyone who worked on Swamp Dogg would love to make more stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see if we can, but you know,
Yeah.
definitely, I don't know, just having a tight crew is so important.
So important, yeah. And then lastly, what is the thing that you can't stop thinking about right now that is not film related?
Well, Minneapolis, where I live, just went through months. I mean, it's still happening, but months of federal occupation where 2 people were murdered by, you know, federal agents that are known entities and still walking free. But I can't stop thinking and talking up how, like, incredible the, you know, Minneapolis community is. All these people came together, took care of each other. They're still doing it. You know, I was part of a couple of massive protests downtown where there were 60,000 people in the streets, and
And weren't you telling me it was
nothing
like,
was wrecked. Like,
was
everything
like-
was great. There were no cops or ICE agents there. You know, it was the best.
and weren't you telling me it was like the coldest day?
Coldest day in
Minneapolis?
30 or 40 years. It was like 40 below. People were out in the street. I don't know. You know, like, it's really good to be reminded that community is really important. You know? And that was a big reminder. And hopefully, people who live elsewhere saw that or will know, you know, learn about it and take it to heart, because it's coming for everybody. Like, it's not going away. We have to all, you know, get community going, I guess.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, and you must feel proud too, because I mean, I think Minneapolis is like, people look at that nationally and go like, that's the power of collective action.
Totally. And I've always been proud of Minneapolis, but you know, it's been through so much in the last, I mean, everyone has. The world's weird, and it continues to get weirder, but Minneapolis especially, I think, is doing everybody proud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't talk about that you want to make sure to mention, like where people can
so.
find you or your work, or?
I exist somewhere on the internet, probably IsaacGale.com, maybe. I don't haven't updated in a long time. Swamp Dogg gets his pool painted. Hopefully it'll land a streamer sometime, but I think you can find it on all the VOD stuff and on Canopy, like the library service.
Cool.
I know. And Blu-ray's coming out. Might hit the streets in the next few days through Factory 25.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
a great distributor.
that thing is amazing too, because we put so much. There's so much extras. There's a whole cooking show episode about this cookbook that we found.
Yeah. What is it? Roadkill? What,
If you can kill it, I can cook it. Yeah. So there's like on that Blu-ray is that, and yeah, a bunch of people should, if they like the movie, they should get the Blu-ray because there's so much fun extra stuff.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
And so cool. Well, I'm so proud that our company gets to represent you, and like I love your work, and I don't know. You're one of those artists that I like cheer for no matter what you're doing.
Thanks.
And I'm so psyched that you're making work and
Hey, yeah, let's keep
putting it
making
out
work
in the
together.
world, and let's
Yeah.
keep doing it, man. So
Sick.
thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
All right, let's get.
Cool.
Next time on Doc Walks, I walk solo with director David Alvarado. We discuss his new documentary, American Pachuco, which won the Audience Award at this year's Sundance Film Festival. And he is in Austin to screen the film at the opening night of Cine Las Americas. We talk about his passion for science, technology, and human rights, and his past films, We Are as Gods, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and The Immortalists. It's a great episode. He gets me to smoke a cigar on our walk. I get very lightheaded. We have a great conversation in spite of all that, and I hope you'll stick around for next week's episode of Doc Walks.
Doc Walks is created, produced, and edited by my friend Ben Steinbauer of The Bear.
Hello, and my friend Keith Maitland of Go Valley.
Thanks for tuning in.
Follow us at Doc Walks Pod on Instagram, X, and YouTube.